Let's get your stock pick then, JP. Where do you see value at the moment?
I see value in the small country of Georgia. And one of the two major banks there, TBC Bank Group. I chose it a year ago. I went to look, time flies, and it's done very well in the past year, and I expect it to continue to do well. It's one of two banks that have got a dominant position in Georgia, and that's where they make 90% of their profits. But 10% of their profits is made in a newer division that they launched in Uzbekistan, a fintech bank, no branches, all on an app. And Uzbekistan has got 10 times the population of Georgia. So if they get that right, and they are busy getting it right, then the Uzbekistan business can be bigger than the Georgia business. So it's in a part of the world, not too far away from Russia, that people feel nervous about. That's potentially why the shares are so cheap, but that creates an opportunity. So we own TBC Bank Group shares. We don't think there'll be too much turmoil for Georgia and Uzbekistan from what's happening in the Ukraine. And we think that longer term, it's an excellent management team with a very good proposition in these two countries.
What about you, Drikus? Are you also going offshore?
No, it's actually locally listed, going hard assets, but of a different kind. It's ETF RHO. That's a rhodium ETF, only one of two. There's basically no other above ground rhodium stocks on the planet. The OEMs haven't really stocked them. They did in 2022, and the price spiked a few 100%. We're up quite a bit already, but we're still about 150% away from the 2022 high point. About 90% comes from a few mines on the western limb of the Bushveld complex. So supply is very constrained. And if one of those mines, for instance, goes through a seam with very little rhodium, then rhodium supply drops by 10 or 20%. So it's quite an interesting metal. It's much more width from a chemical perspective, from elemental perspective than the other PGM metals, because it starts reacting from lower temperatures, which makes it ideal for hybrid motors. And hybrid motors obviously is gaining market share in most places, in most markets. And so longer term, the demand for rhodium will continue growing relative to that of the other PGMs, while it's very supply constrained.
All right, let's leave it there, gents. Thank you so much for your time and sharing your insights with us this evening. That's all for Stockwatch today. Thanks to our guests, Pierre Verster from Protea Capital Management and Drikus Combrinck from Capicraft. Up next, the close.